We are not the talented who take our God-given gifts for granted. Exercising our pen is exorcising the spirit. We escape our lines of imprisonment. Those of us that think outside the box and freedom write us outside of the blue margins. There are messages encoded within my DNA, and I am from a lineage of lion kings. So listen. Veins splattered across the page, covenants, ink stains that are left behind, forensic evidence of an indigenous. You see, my physical is a prism. It separates the light from a lie. So you and I can see all the colors of the entire spectrum. They have tried to extinguish the child of the sun, but I have used my fiery tongue to burn down stereotypical images, tuning in, ascending to heavenly bandwidths, amplifying divine sounds the truth speaker is. Those earthly rulers have tried to measure our intelligence, but we are those dark quasars that won't ease into the dimensions they try to fit us in. Now, if you are ready to hear what today's message is, allow me to share with you my perspective on what the future is. In the future, they will attempt to quarantine love and call it a disease and convince you and me that hate is the sure cure for the cause of such epidemics. The roads then will scream melancholy, its thoughts cemented in matter grey. It would have been witness to murder, police brutality, and human traffic, kings and queens. History, it serves as our precursor, and those of us that don't know theirs, we are sure to repeat the curse of past behaviors in the future, and we will breed minds incubated in ignorance. People will have fallen to their knees to take stands. Those cotton pickers and Kaepernicks would have been hung in public before endorsements by the night ticks. Mike Browns would have been shot dead in the street screaming, "Don't shoot," whilst we raise our hands. Eric Garner still can't breathe. Trayvon Martin will still be shot down by a Zimmerman. We do not forget about our Tamir Rices, our Stephen Lawrences, our Mark Duggans. We'll be damned if we forget about our Sandra Blands. Then there would have been fires at Grenfell, where our hearts fell, where the inquest into the unlawful deaths will lead to dead ends until a justice system is systematically picked apart and becomes a system that is just by us. Until then, they will continue to serve us death sentences, copiously fed to us in a steady diet of lies and unwavering bias. In the future, free thought will become a cemetery, where we will exist inside of the coffins their programming has channeled us in. And the world turns and turns and stomachs churn, sick. The mouths of the people will regurgitate hate agendas and spew malignant narratives with a menacing rhetoric. In the future, all poets will sound like this and would have misplaced their own expression. Like politicians, we would have convinced you that we said something significant, simply because our speech or spoken word piece lasts longer than the fame of 15 minutes. It will tell us the voice of all the people are shown in referendums, all the while turning up the heat to disguise a cold war on the immigrants. Unpredictable Mayweather, now Boris, trumped only by presidential punchlines that grab pussy inciting rape. On Twitter with his trigger fingers instigating war with North Korea. The UN still ignoring genocide and slavery across the world. Please, a moment of silence for Sudan. A moment of silence for Libya. They will make a myth of the gravity of climate change. Though earthquakes and hurricanes will exist in abundance, so many that we will all forget their names. We will live in a time unable to recognize nature from the engineered. Fortunately for us, we do not have to worry about such days arriving in our immediate future, because they are already